next guest is joining us on the orange carpet for the first time. Please welcome from Reef Point Real Estate, Alanna Strei.
Welcome to the show, Alanna. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Derrick. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
It's a very exciting topic because, first of all, thank you for your service to the country.
My pleasure.
7 years in the Navy as an officer. Pretty impressive. You just got out not just a few months back.
Yes.
And now you're serving people in the real estate realm. So today we're going to talk about using the VA loan to buy multi-unit properties, which is really an interesting idea. Where I'm from in Missouri, there are a lot more multi-unit properties. So like duplexes, 3, 4plexes, those things are just like everywhere. And it's a common idea for people to go and buy those as like your first home. Live in one side, rent out the other, and then eventually buy another one and rent out both sides, and that's kind of what people do. Here it's a little bit more difficult because there aren't as many, but some of the people who have the best opportunities are people who have VA eligibility, right? Because they have the zero down component. And typically when you're buying, like an investment property or something like that, you have 20% down. In this case, as long as you're living in one unit, right, you can use it as a primary loan. Is that right?
That's absolutely right, Derrick. And the awesome opportunity, like you explained, is that there aren't as many multi-units here in San Diego. We're just a much more compact city. And at our price points, it's a lot more difficult to be a starter home and be upwards of $500,000 for your very first home when you're trying to buy a multi-unit. The no down for a VA loan really eliminates that hardship and gives you that opportunity to buy it as your very first home with no money down.
No money down and no mortgage insurance.
Exactly.
Let's talk about how important that is, because even if you were, let's say, not VA eligible, you were going FHA, you're buying a duplex or a triplex, and you were able to do 3.5% down, which would be the minimum, right? You're going to have massive mortgage insurance, which is going to eat into your ability to make it pencil in the long run. But with VA, you don't have. Honestly, I didn't even know that you could buy a 4-unit with a VA loan.
The most exciting part about it too is the loan limits go up incrementally for every unit that you buy. So while you have a single family loan limit, it goes up more for a duplex, more for a triplex, and it's more than $1 million for nothing down for a 4-unit home in San Diego. So you can actually get in there and become a landlord as your very first purchase and make sure that your rent and your mortgage payments are being covered by someone else's rent while you're living there as your primary residence.
So this may sound crazy to some of the people out there who are VA eligible that might be watching this show right now going, wait a minute, $1 million? How am I going to qualify for $1 million, based on my earnings right now? And it doesn't have to be people who are necessarily active duty either. It could be people who are all doing their own career now. They're just eligible for a VA loan. How am I going to get $1 million loan? But this can happen, right? It's based on the property.
Exactly.
As much as it is based on the person's qualifications, right?
So obviously you speak to your lender about it and they'll go through your personal finances to make sure you are capable of qualifying for that loan. But the way that the loans and the way that the multi-units are listed, they explain to you the potential rental income. And that's how the lenders decide whether or not you can purchase that home and whether or not they're going to issue you a loan for that home. So it's not just whether or not your credit is good enough or whether or not any savings that you have or any past credit history is good enough. What's important too is how much earning potential does that home have for you, which is what your realtor will be helping you as you're looking at these homes anyways. So it makes it more confident and an easier way for you to buy that home. Yeah,
because if you have, let's say, 3 of the units rented out, especially in this rental market, you probably have almost the whole mortgage covered.
I personally rent my second bedroom while I live there, and I use a short-term rental service, and it pays my mortgage entirely while I live there. So my next purchase is going to be a multi-unit, and I intend to have that also cover my mortgage, of course. So it's certainly doable here in San Diego. It's an incredible opportunity.
It's a huge advantage because the reality is that we hire men and women to go protect this country, serve this country, and we don't pay them enough money. Let's be honest. They are not paid enough money for the sacrifices that they make. And I'm not just talking about sacrificing their life either. It's sacrificing family and time and all these things that don't even get put in the equation. If that weren't in the equation, you still wouldn't be paid enough. So they're way underpaid. But there are a couple of little places where they can take advantage of eligibility for benefits like this, which is the VA loan, and how you can take something like this and use it to build wealth. And it might be hidden in a little nook and cranny, but that's what we're exposing today. We're exposing the opportunity for people who are VA eligible to buy multi-unit properties and accumulate wealth, ultimately. That's the idea, right? So you mentioned something there, Airbnb, which is, there's several other sites out there that are doing that type of rental. I forget the one that I use all the time.
VRBO.
VRBO is the one, that we use. So can you do that? Is that a legitimate strategy? If I have a 4-unit property or a 3 or a 2-unit property to Airbnb or VRBO the other side
So the biggest struggle people really find in San Diego is if they buy a condo or if they buy something that has an HOA, it's limited in there how long they can have a tenant, a minimum of 30 days, something like that, and that eliminates your ability to do Airbnb for briefer periods. When you are your own HOA, because you own every unit in that complex, you decide how long someone needs to stay there to actually meet that limit. So it really opens up the possibilities for you. If you own a single family home and you decide to rent out a bedroom, so be it. No one else can decide that. There is no HOA. This actually gives you the opportunity to have 4 units, perhaps have a normal tenant, a standard tenant in the 2 of the units, and then do a short-term rental for that 3rd unit while you live in the 4th one. And then you're alleviating any strain on the budget you might have for when you don't have the tenants occupied. You can always short-term rental it and just keep it busy. San Diego is one of the highest markets for Airbnb. We're one of their beta markets for everything they do because of the interest in guests coming out here to stay and enjoy San Diego and the amazing things we have to offer.
Interesting. So Airbnb is sort of an intermediate in between tenants potentially. That I never even thought about that, because sometimes that's the biggest scare. You know, it's like someone says, okay, hey, I'm moving out. They give you 30 days notice and you're like, I'm so busy with life. I don't have time to go find a new tenant, show the property, et cetera, et cetera. I guess you could just have it sort of always listed and then just turn it on and turn it off on Airbnb, right?
This company, because of its success, subsidiary companies have sprouted that are there just to serve Airbnb's needs. So there are other companies like Pillow and other home management services that will flip your house for you. So you can have a property management company that takes care of everything. And of course, they want it to be occupied as much as possible, so they make as much money as possible when they're charging a commission percentage. So you don't have to worry about any of it, and you can make sure that your properties or your additional units are making as much money as possible for you. It's an incredible opportunity, like I said.
Wow. Plus, you
really
get more
exciting.
dollars per days.
Absolutely.
If you use that method. So do you think it's smart for people to do that year-round, or is it just during certain peak times, certain peak seasons where the Airbnb really works out for these rental properties?
I've had a phenomenal amount of luck with mine. I'm consistently booked about 80%. As I said before, it's my 2nd bedroom and I'm making about $2,000 a month on it. So I obviously can't guarantee anyone else's success, but I do think the market and the need in San Diego is there. If you're down at the beach, there aren't hotels down there. If you're in La Jolla, or if you're somewhere like that, $300 a night is starting for hotels.
Totally.
Tower 23, somewhere like that, $400 is easy, and that's Pacific Beach. If you could stay at someone's home or stay in their 2nd bedroom and you're just going to be at the beach all day anyways, wouldn't you pay $100 a night before taxes? I mean, hotel taxes themselves add an extra $50 per night.
No question. Yeah, you don't have to pay any of that stuff. It's really, really cool. And we've got the loan limits on the screen right now, which I think are a little shocking probably to people who are VA eligible out
They're
there,
incredible.
whether they're active duty or retired veterans. You know, it's an amazing what the opportunity is in this realm. But beyond that, there is one other little trick,
There is.
right? Because if you find the perfect 4 unit and it's 1.2 million, let's say, just above the loan limit here that's available through the VA loan, what's the deal with that? There's a special piece of love there too,
All
right?
you need to come up with is 25% of the difference down. So
25% of the difference.
The difference, that's it. So if you want to buy something that's $100,000 higher than whatever the loan limit was, so say you're looking to buy something that's 1.25 million or what have you, whatever the exact $100,000 higher increment is, all you need to do is come up with $25,000. So you can get a $2 million loan for a 4-unit property for around $200,000 down. If you didn't have the VA loan limit, you'd have to come up with 25-30% to get a loan for that value. The VA really has your back, and it's an amazing benefit that service members receive, both while they're active duty and after they're out. And they can use it more than once. So if you use that VA loan limit and then you finance out of it, or you've gotten enough equity in your home that you've decided it's time to sell, you can actually reuse your VA loan limit, and it's only a slightly higher funding fee. So it's still an amazing opportunity that isn't afforded to non-service members.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Really appreciate you coming in and sharing this great knowledge.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
super
your service
cool.
to this country. Really, really cool stuff.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Alanna. And stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.